Hey whales, let's go over how to connect the QuantumWhale indicator into your broker, and we're going to have to use a third party. It's called Traders Post, guys, right? So that's sort of the language it needs in order for all this automation to happen. So essentially what you want, and the golden star, is that whenever there's a buy signal on the indicator, it's going to essentially be able to take profit. Now, I want to go over a few nuances, right? The first nuance is that when you do buy, when you just have access to the indicator, this is what the indicator looks like. When you just buy, it's going to take 100% full profit at wherever the take profit is. Now, remember we mentioned that for the strategy, we want to take 20% only. So when you buy, instead of taking 100% at the first take profit level, we want this to be able to trim 20%, 20%, 20% at each take profit level, guys. So that is the only nuance with the indicator. So you will actually want the QuantumWhale strategy. So the strategy is different than the indicator, whereas you long and buy the position, but it's only going to take partial profits at each take profit level. Okay, so you're going to need access to the QuantumWhale strategy rather than the indicator. Okay, now I'll tell you guys how to sort of set everything up on the strategy end near the end of the video. This is very important, but in the beginning, let's go over the indicator first so that we're all aligned, and then we can go over the strategy. Okay, so let's go over how to do this first. So the first thing you want to do is go to Discord, scroll up, go to read me first. You'll come up with this page, and then you want to go to this link here underneath the tool section called Traders Post referral link. So you're going to click on this. This is my referral link, guys, where we both get discounts when you sign up via this referral link. You're going to sign up. There's going to be a sign up button at the top right. Once you sign up with your email and password, it's going to take you to the dashboard of Traders Post. And this is how it's going to look like. Now, I have my brokers already connected. You can have, you probably won't have anything here as of yet, so you're going to connect broker. So Traders Post actually can work with Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, Tasty Trades for stocks, right? So those are for stocks. For other things, you can see like Binance and others for crypto and Coinbase, right? But for the sake of this video, I already have my Interactive Brokers connected. All you got to do is just sign in, right? But let's go with the Traders Post paper account for now. So I'm going to click on the Traders Post paper account, connect this, and save. Now, because of the fact that the robot is going to basically buy, and it depends on your watch list, right, guys? You can actually change the max strategy positions. So instead of buying into 40 different stocks on your watch list, you can limit this, and I think it is recommended to maybe like 5 or even 10 at max, right? So just be careful. So you can change this to 10, for instance, right? Just in case, if you don't want to go too overboard and go into deep equity and margin. So you can save this for now, and boom, there you go. You can always adjust this in the future, guys. If you don't care too much, you can put it to 0. It really doesn't matter. All right, but let's set it to 10 just for default and play around with that. Okay, so once you do that, right, if you go back to the dashboard, you can now see that your Traders Post broker is connected into Traders Post, and you'll see it on the dashboard here. Secondly, what you want to do, go to strategies, right, and you're going to click on the new strategy at the top right. You're going to name this whatever you want. Let's just call it StockWhale V1, right, version 1. You can change the asset class to whatever you like. Let's do it for stocks. Keep everything the same. You're going to save this. Go to your subscriptions, right? And now you're going to create a new subscription, and you're going to find your StockWhale V1. So this is the strategy. And then now you're going to choose the broker. So we're going to choose the Traders Post broker. This is the broker that you signed into, and you're going to enable create. So once you do this and set up the connection between the strategy and the subscription, you go down, click on auto submit, for the sides. You can do both or bullish. I'm just doing bullish for now. So what does this mean? This means that it's only going to take the long positions, and then once the take profit hits, it's going to trim that. It's never going to short. So for me, that's okay. So I click on that one, and then you can go down and you can change sort of these settings if you want to. So for instance, for the position sizing, if you leave it up to the robot, you can just check this for use signal quality, right? But if you want to override it for any reason into the future, right? So you're going to first click on allow add to position, and then you can uncheck this and you can manually do whatever you want, right? So for instance, for fixed quantity, this is how many shares that you're going to buy. So for instance, 100 shares of Apple. For amount per position, this is how much you're going to buy in terms of dollar amount. So $1,000 of Apple shares, okay? For risk per position, if you have a stop loss, you can actually do a risk per position like 1% risk. Now for percent of equity, this is what I use. I typically do 2% of equity. So I do this, right? Everything else looks okay to me. And you can change some of these settings like entry order type. You can allow entry extended hours, right? These are all things that you can do moving forward, okay? So after I do that, everything looks good to me. All right, I'm going to enable this, or I'm going to use the signal settings like this just in case, right? And you can play around with it, but ultimately this is sort of what I'm looking at overall. So I'm going to enable this. So once enabled, you can see that your Traders Post strategy and subscription is good to go. Right, so now you're going to go to the webhooks and you're going to locate your V1. You're going to click on edit and the webhook is here. So now with these webhooks, we want to connect to TradingView. So I'm going to go back to TradingView here. Go to products, super charts, and I have Microsoft, for instance, loaded up. I'm going to look for my indicator, top bottom finder indicator. I'm going to create an alert, top here, create alert. And now I can create the symbol. I can create the QuantumWhale indicator here, buy signal. So we need to create two, right? So this is the buy signal. Same as chart, once per bar close to avoid repainting issues. You can do once per bar if you want the signals to flash on and off. It's really up to you, but I like once per bar close. For message, this is where you go back to Traders Post and you can see TradingView indicator, guys, right? The strategy is here. This is what we need to do later if you have access to the strategy. For the indicator, this is it. So you're going to copy the indicator into here. For notifications, you're going to copy the webhook at the top. And you're going to paste it in here. Okay, so once you do that, boom, you create. And now you go to the alerts and you can see the alert was created for Microsoft on the buy. So every time there's a buy signal, it's going to essentially buy on a 30-minute time frame at the close of the candle. So very simple, guys, right? And then secondly, you need to go back and do the second part, which is again, QuantumWhale, TP signal. So this is to take profit once per bar close, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to copy the message, go to the notifications, copy the notifications, and then create. So boom. So now you have two signals on the buy and sell, or actually for the sell, instead of buy, you have to put in whatever message you want, right? But take profit / trim, whatever you think. So you're not too confused, right? So now you have the buy and take profit. So the good thing is if you do this individually on every single ticker, Microsoft, Apple, Palantir, etc., you're able to actually get these signals on extended hours, right? So pre-market and post-market. So again, if you go to the strategies and go to your V1, so click on subscription defaults, go down, you can actually entry order type, allow entry extended hours. Okay. Now, second thing is that if you don't want to do it individually and create individual alerts for every single ticker, you can actually go to the watch list here. So you're going to create a new list, right? So stocks for IBKR. So this is interactive brokers. So once you do that, you go to add symbol. You can add all these symbols, right, that you want. And then once you add the symbol, you can actually, when you create the alert, instead of Microsoft, you can do the entire watch list here, guys. Your entire watch list all at the same time. You're going to follow the same exact thing. Buy signal, take profit signal, and then just do the same thing, add the message, and add the webhook. Now, the only caveat to this is that if you create an alert on the watch list, you cannot have extended hours from the documentation that I've read. So it's really up to you. If you want to do individual tickers, you'll get access to extended hours. If you do a watch list, you won't. Okay. And again, once per bar close, message, same thing, right? You're going to go to the webhooks tab here, and so on and so forth, right? We're going to put the webhook in under notifications, just so you guys understand how to do it. And there you go. Again, you want to change the action to either buy or take profit, whatever is aligned with the condition. So if I do take profit, again, you want to change this to take profit. Okay. And boom, there you go. So now I have a watch list across all of the stocks for my IBKR. And again, caveat, watch lists do not allow alerts for extended hours. Perfect. So that's the indicator part, guys. Now remember, the caveat to this is that on the take profits, instead of trimming out, it's going to take the full take profit at the first signal. Okay, so that is why, in my opinion, if you want the full sort of QuantumWhale strategy, right, you want to make sure that you have access to the strategy, not the indicator. So how do you do this, right? You can take a look. If you load in the strategy, it longs and then takes partial profits at each take profit instead of taking full profit at the first one. So what you want to do is, if you have access to this, remember guys, this is a paid subscription. So you go to Discord, you go to QuantumWhale Strategy Access. It's a monthly subscription here. You're going to click on this checkout, and ultimately, once you subscribe via Stripe, you're going to have access to this where the strategy, I'm going to manually give you that access. And once you have access, if you go back to TradingView, you're going to have this script name right here called QuantumWhale Strategy. All right. So now let's load in the strategy on how to connect this to your trader's post. Okay. So again, you're going to go to strategies. You're going to create the new strategy. Let's do strategy stock whale. Everything looks good. I'm going to save this. Right. I'm going to save and now connect to broker. And then I'm going to go to, let's do trader's post again. Okay. So create and auto submit once again. Everything looks good here. Position sizing, calculation method, percent of equity, 2%. Allow add to position. Everything looks good here to me, and I'm going to enable. So now the strategy is connected to the subscription. Now this is the fun part. I'm going to go to webhook. I'm going to locate the strategy here, edit, webhook. And now this is a great part. So with the QuantumWhale strategy, so I have the strategy loaded up. I'm going to create the alert. And remember, we're going to connect the webhook, right? So this is how it looks like, QuantumWhale 3050, like this. And alerts, functions, calls only. For the message, no need to put a message. Everything is already coded in perfectly. You don't need to do anything. Notifications, this is only where you need to put in your strategy webhook. And boom, there you go. So it's going to create the alert now to QuantumWhale. It's going to create the alert every time it's going to long and take profit. Okay, you don't need to create separate alerts for the take profit or for the buy signal. So it's already automatic, and you should be good to go. So how's it sort of configured? Well, if you go to the settings here, you can actually change the take profit percentage